Scratch that, I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some more Man Huggie. Oh, Man Huggie. More Man Huggie. Put your headphones on for proper audio quality, motherfucker.
Welcome back. Unmuted. Welcome back. Angry Black Quarterback. We're back. A week off. Save your babies. Save them. Episode 39. We are back. I think I still have everyone muted. 2.0 is here. He's fucking muted, but he's back. Elwood's got himself muted. 2.0, welcome back. It's good to see your beautiful face. Although I did see you in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And we ate burgers, boy. You came on down to Texas.
Sir.
We waited for fucking ever, and we got burgers. How are you, sir? You've been driving back? You just had my sis on the line, dude. Snitching on me to my big sis. Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, long road trip, but good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. And we just kind of decided last week to not do it. I was super busy with work. You were traveling, or you weren't even able to do it. And then, there was the whole in real life, off the air, I'm going to boo this shit debacle. Group chat debacle, which is forced me to start a new one. So we took last week off. Oh,
yeah.
If it is a James Elwood, Tim Pool lookalike today. Looks like he brings his typewriter to the coffee shop and leaves himself on mute the whole time. So he can't even speak right now because he's muted, and he doesn't even realize it. Another round of applause. James Elwood. This motherfucker and
rough day.
Adult Charlie Brown. Oh yeah, tell me about it, man. We're all drowning, I feel like, except for you, Joe. Ooh, road trip back on vacation. Shut up.
Been in the car for 12 hours. That's no picnic either.
That is true. Big facts.
I did have one day in Oklahoma where I didn't have my work phone or my work schedule book, and so just for that one day of not having my mom or dad, or literally my mom, like, you see the work email? You see? Like, you always think you want to own your own company, but when you own your own company with your parents,
that's a nightmare.
It's rough.
I love your parents.
Love them.
I love your parents, but yeah, that's the last thing I need is an ants on my ass about an invoice. That sounds like a nightmare. Love you, Mom. Shout out,
my
Mom.
mom's
Love
retired. Yeah, so she'll be like, "Did you see that email?" I'm like, "Well, when was it sent?" Like a minute ago. And I'm like, "Well, no, I've been doing stuff. I haven't seen it yet. Like, calm down."
See, and for me, I do that constantly, where I'd be like, "Yeah, I saw it." Like, I'm a weirdo like that. Where I'd be like, "Yeah, totally saw it. Yep, right. I already responded. I didn't CC you in it."
What's funny is
I'm a
been
weirdo
slowly
like that.
starting to do this stuff like that.
And
it's only when she goes on.
2.0 can attest to it. I'm like, oh man, they're getting their ass kicked. And he's like, what? I'm like, oh, my place is just really busy right now. I'm like, look at the camera. I'm like, look at what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing. Oh yeah, it's a habit. It's a operator's dream and nightmare. It's a curse. Yay.
So y'all had a good Christmas?
Yeah, good Christmas, good vibes. One of my sisters didn't make it down. She'll be down later in the month. But I did get to see 2.0.
I didn't get to see my sisters either.
Which is
Apparently, we're doing Christmas with my sister so she can give Moira this extravagant, massive as fuck Barbie house she bought her. I'm like, Marcy, where am I supposed to put this thing? First of all,
it's like in your room. You're like, oh, okay.
yeah.
You sleep on the
So
couch. No,
apparently, we're doing that New Year's Day. But,
I feel like
and
a lot of people are pushing their Christmases back. Everybody's like busy.
dude,
Everybody's got shit
I'm
going on.
so over the multiple Christmas. We did 3 days of opening presents for the little one, and I'm just like, no, no more of that.
Just,
Plus, I don't want the kid getting used to this, like, oh, Santa comes 3 fucking days bullshit. Yeah.
you're just gonna be like Amazon it to me. Just ship it to me. I'll put it under our tree. We'll give you
And then they
credit.
go to school and they tell their friends about Santa delivering them presents 3 times, and then the other kids bully them because they're like, this fucking kid
Yeah, dude.
thinking Santa's favorite over here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a quick way to be like this motherfucker over here dating an elf on the shelf, just fucking all sorts of stupid shit, dude. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. The multiple Christmas. See, with my parents being split, I was just like, oh, well, we go to dad's and we get big crazy stuff that my mom's gonna hate. That's
Right.
half of the reason why he bought it, because he's passive aggressive as fuck like that. And then my mom will be like, all the stuff that my mom bought with mostly my dad's money.
Would you
So
do
it'll
it
be
2
great.
different
That's like,
days?
so yeah, we do it 2 different days. So Christmas Eve is always with my dad. And I love it. I mean, no, this is like total sidebar, nothing to do with sports, but it's holiday talk. I love that every year, and I say that so sarcastically, they're like, oh, well, are you going to spend Christmas with me this year? Every year, I swear, since I was like 10, it's like, are you gonna be there? I'm like, where else am I gonna be? What else am I gonna do? Like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm gonna fucking be there. I bought y'all shit. What are you talking about? Like, I better show the fuck up. It
Yeah, I'm
always
gonna be at work reading the book of how to be a Scrooge.
yeah,
Come on, don't you?
blows my mind that every year I get asked that. It's mostly from my mom, love her to death, but she does it every year. Well, are we gonna be able to see you and do what we've done every year? Like, of course. Like, just all you gotta do is text like, can't wait to see you on Christmas Day. That's all you gotta say. And I'd be like, bet.
Well, it makes sense the story about your dad with the rain, though, that you said Christmas Eve, because yeah, Christmas Eve was shit.
Yeah, Christmas Eve was shitty, and then yeah, it was dumping rain all fucking day. It was, but still, it was.
That's when we did presents here for Moira at the house, and we got her first official Minnie Mouse bicycle with training wheels or whatever. And,
Well,
and of course, she's like, I want to go ride my bike. And I'm like, it's downpouring rain.
my mom would do this G move where if I was in trouble in any way, shape, or form at Christmas, she would give me my Christmas gifts, and then after the break was over, she'd take them back. She would snatch them up and take them and lock them up and be like, nope, you don't get this shit for like 8 weeks. So I'd get
Like for grades or something?
yeah,
Or like
anything. I mean, great. It could have been anything.
mouthing off.
Not so much, man. You'd be surprised. I was smart enough to not fucking do that. If I ever did,
Right.
it was worth it. But oh yeah, I remember I got like WCW versus NWO Revenge on Nintendo 64, and I was in trouble because I threw mashed potatoes on the roof in the cafeteria at Durham Elementary. I got in fucking trouble and got a shit ton of trouble for it because they stuck up there, and it's really tall. It doubled as an auditorium. So it was so fucking tall, and I got all these mashed potatoes stuck to the fucking ceiling, got in tons of trouble. Chris, and then going into the break, of course. So I'm basically grounded all Christmas break, which blows. Because then it's just like Hallmark movies and like everyone's like, bleh. And that's partially why I don't like Christmas either. They're always fucking grounded. It's always in trouble. Always got caught right before you about to break out. And I got WCW versus NWO Revenge on Nintendo 64. And I knew it was a ticking clock. My mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, you let him open this shit. You gotta let him like play with it a little bit. That's kind of fucked. And but I threw a big glob of mashed potatoes on the ceiling. So, I'm gonna do the time, and hook it up, play it. I knew I was gonna get snatched up, so I mashed on that game for like the whole rest of the break. All I did was play WCW versus NWO Revenge or Duke Nukem, because they also had Duke Nukem on 64. And I beat both of those games, unlocked all the special characters. We just like beat the shit out of Vince McMahon the whole entire fucking time. And I was playing Revenge. It was just like the fucking best. And then, my mom snatched that hoe up, but I didn't see it for like 6 months. Fucking holidays, man. Well, and we'll get into it, but Elwood.
What, my game?
Yeah, it didn't go so hot. It looks
What
like.
are your glasses?
What's great is you can actually see
y'all went
through.
back to squeaking by teams like you did with the Eagles. Jesus.
With the Eagles, we didn't play ourselves.
I
guess
mean,
our biggest enemy is ourselves.
The Giants.
You are right about that.
I can't believe y'all even allowed them to make that a game.
Man, the play calling is so inconsistent and bad, and we will get into it. But good
y'all are
Lord,
missing.
They dominated.
To the Colts.
We dominated that. They dominated that fucking whole entire game. But it's like the stupidest fucking play calls all the time. And they're like, well, Brian Johnson might be a lead candidate for good. What? Get out of here. The best shit I ever saw you do was when you were quarterback at Utah, because he was actually a very good college quarterback at Utah. He's pretty legit. But other than that, fuck
the Cowboys, I blame the Cowboys defense yet again. Another week, our defense can't stop a run when Dak goes down the whole field, puts a dime pass to Cooks that Cooks makes an awesome catch in the corner of the end zone to put us up. And the whole stadium, everyone in America watching the game on live television knows Miami is about to run the ball, and the Cowboys defense can't stop it. Pretty pathetic. But on top of that, man, yet another game proving that there is something wrong with the NFL officiating and the referees. Both sides. And the biggest both side call was roughing the passer, which y'all can correct me if I'm just being the jaded Cowboys fan, but I felt even though Dax wasn't necessarily a true roughing the passer, I can see it in the moment just with the fact that he had let go of the ball and the defenseman actually picked him up off the ground for maneuver. That's the only thing in going down. But the Micah Parsons thing, I mean, I guess it's a penalty for the hit a person's quarterback that has a turkey neck that looks like he got whiplash. That's the only thing that I see. Like,
I think it's the fact
made that movement drastically that they thought, oh.
Well, but I mean, I'd say
that led to an actual touchdown when ours didn't lead to anything because we were so backed up in the end zone anyway.
If the first one, we'll get into that when we get into the game, but if that first one on Dak is roughing the passer, the second one's roughing the passer. If that first one is where he's got his hands to his side, because he got kind of blocked in him and he went to hit him, and he's like trying to not touch him, like just kind of rolled off of him, didn't put all of his weight on him. I mean, because if that's it, and it's because he released the ball. I mean, Tua released the ball and got cracked in the back, like boom. If he's holding
split second,
but if he's holding on to that, and he followed through and he went down. I mean, it just looked bad.
But my point, neither of them should have been called. The drastic, I don't know if some refs had some FanDuel numbers that they needed to hit for this fucking game, but the drastic holds against Dallas on offense and defense that were not called in that game. I mean, I know y'all saw it because they showed the replay. Defenseman is trying to show off half of fucking CeeDee Lamb's ass to the whole world by pulling off his fucking pants, and they don't even throw a flag? I mean, it was just frustrating. Even though I hate, I will blame the team and the stuff the team did for a loss before even going to the refs, but still, bad to watch, doesn't make games fun to watch, makes it more frustrating when my team is already being frustrating. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
shitty that it came down to,
I will
field goal
say
at the end.
I've never seen so many flag, and then they're like, our bad. We picked up the flag on the play.
I just said
How
that to my dad this year,
how
and I
many
think it's this
times?
season.
I know
I've seen it more this season than
In the
any
last
ever.
Cowboys Eagles game, they picked up 3 flags against the Cowboys.
Ugh.
3 flags against the Cowboys. Like, never mind. You're like, what? What is that? There's no explanation on what it could have been, what it might have been. They're just like, oh, sorry. It's like you
Yeah,
can't.
no foul on the play.
Yeah, that's more frustrating. Then don't fucking throw it. Then don't
Yeah, I
fucking
would
throw it.
honestly rather hear flag fell out of my pocket. My
Yeah.
bad, guys.
Oh shit! I got scared, dude. I thought I saw the Babadook, dude. I just threw it. I was like, that movie scared the shit of me. Have you guys not seen Babadook? That would be. I'd be like, oh, I mean, that's scary, but I mean, you know.
Or even like, oh, I thought
well,
it was my place marker. My bad.
Yeah, no, fuck that, dude. Yeah, that's got to be infuriating. That's been driving me nuts, and we've seen it all year. So many bad calls, so many. There was like, yeah, the pass interference call against Quez Watkins again by Love in the Eagles game, where he like totally yanks his jersey and then dives and catches the ball. And they're like, clean. And to think that they used to review pass interference. Do you remember that? There was and then they stopped.
Season?
Yeah, they stopped because they didn't overturn anything. Because it's like, well, I'm going to watch a review of a play I've already made up my mind on. I'm not going to say that I was wrong.
It's like,
it was stupid.
No, literally the year that they implemented what you just described, NFL refs all of a sudden turned into MLB umpires. They're like, I'm not taking back anything.
Well, of course not. Because
Okay.
they're a bunch of, they're doing their thing. And then we also saw a safety caused by an official falling down in the Ravens game. Where
Thank God that San Francisco didn't end up winning by 2 points.
I think that's the fourth.
I
think that's the fourth safety the Ravens have given up this year, and that's the most.
Weird.
That's like tied for the most in a season ever. That's kind of a weird stat.
Still, I'm gonna be honest. Good for them. Good for Lamar. Honestly, did not see a beatdown like that in the wake. I'm hoping for NFC's sake, and I think you should be too, for an Eagles fan. Hopefully that game has something on tape that other teams can pull off of to just fucking upset Purdy's fucking, mojo. Because, yeah, man, 4 interceptions. And who was I watching? They go, Purdy was fucking like fist pumping on the sideline when Darnold threw his Darnold, right?
Yeah,
Darnold?
yeah, threw an interception.
When he threw his interception, he's like, yeah.
He's like, yes. Well, we'll get into picks, but I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad y'all had a good holiday. Got all the goodies.
What'd y'all get?
How long
what
do
was y'all's favorite gift?
How long do you hold on? Well, how long do you keep your Christmas stuff up? What's the limit?
I'll probably put it down New Year's.
Okay, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Probably
If I'm not too hungover.
January.
Mid-January.
Yeah.
No way, man. That shit comes down. Shit comes down the 26th. By from
Christmas night. I'm
November 1st to January 1st. I'm like, just can we wrap this up? When we come on, hurry up. Let's go.
Yeah, I think January 1st should be legit now, just because everyone. I don't think it didn't used to be the normal, at least in my household, to do the tree the day after Thanksgiving. It was always just like maybe the first week of December, or But now it's like, dude, that day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or it's on
the
Thanksgiving.
Women are ready, and my wife is like, "We putting it up? We putting it up?
Oh yeah,
I put it up?"
My mom was like, Mom's like, you going in the attic to get the stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go up there when I'm off work. She's like, well, you need to hurry because I'm gonna go up there. And I'm like, do not go in the fucking attic. Do not. It is like a crawl. It is a crawl space, and you're gonna get stuck back there.
That reminds me of the leaf gutter commercial where it's like, how many of y'all use the ladder? And the old man raises his hand. Dad,
Yeah, it's like,
I told you stop using ladders.
It's like, Yeah, like I have a
No,
feeling.
for real.
It's like, Mom, the first time we call the fire department to get you out of the attic is going to be the most embarrassing. So we should push that back as far back as we can, because then it'll just become commonplace. The neighbors will be like, oh, but for the first time, it's like going to be pandemonium.
She's in the attic again.
And you're not gonna, yeah, they're gonna be like, she went up there again. So like, please don't do that. But so I went up there. I was like, all right, I'm on my way, like right now. Don't fucking go up there. And then it was pulled out
Before we dive,
all of the decorations because I need to go through the old ones and decide what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. And then I realized it was like maybe like a 6 foot tall man high and like multiple rows of that. I was like, good Lord, there's a lot of Christmas shit.
I said before we dive into full football, big hockey news on our break period of the podcast. Stars pulling off NHL history. First time it's ever been done in the sport as a whole. Did you hear about this, Jazz? The Everett?
No, tell me about it.
15 seconds left in the game.
Oh, I saw
The
that.
Stars are down 2-1. And they scored 2 goals in 15 seconds to fucking win the game. Like, just scoring a goal in 15 seconds to put it into overtime is a feat in itself. And then the fact that before they did that, the game before they did that, they scored the goal in like the last 2 seconds in overtime. It's just like, man.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Let's go Stars.
2 seconds. Yeah, but you know what? Go Stars. But let's see you do it in the playoffs. We get us so hyped up.
They were in the conference championship last year and the year before that.
I know, but I'm just saying they got to get over the fucking hump. I hear all year how good they are, how good they're playing, and they get smoked. So it's like they got to figure it the fuck out. It's about the playoffs. It's about the playoffs.
Well, I will say those years too were usually limping in and trying to get that last spot. We're number 1 in our division all year right now.
No, I know. So like they're setting themselves up in better shape. Team. So they're putting themselves in a good position, but they got to seal the deal. I mean, you go to conference championships like that, and you just got to get over the fucking hump. If you don't, then it's just kind of all moot. It's like the five straight.
It was COVID year, so no one was even in the stadium for it.
Yeah, and I mean, Dallas fans as a whole, when it comes to like not being drunk assholes in the playoffs, is also something that we should try to like accomplish. Because I mean, Dallas Stars fans are starting to get a reputation for being pieces of shit. Let's be honest.
Well, let's be honest. When it comes to piece of shit fans in hockey, we're bottom still.
No, I mean, I'd say if you did a poll right now with people who actively watch the NHL, be like, what fan bases are your least favorite hockey fan bases?
Detroit Red Wings.
Well, Red Wings will always be number 1 because Red Wings make up like 40% of all hockey fans.
It was like during the national anthem, and the Kraken's team is lined up on the line, and a Detroit Red Wings fan apparently snuck in a squid, and while the national anthem, throws a squid onto the ice in front of the Kraken's team, and then all the in normal fan base, would be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck was that? All the Detroit fans start high-fiving him like he just did something amazing. It was like, Jesus.
Well, that's what they do. They throw squids on the ice anyway, so they bring squids to the ice to those games.
Yeah, but it was just funny because it was the Kraken, but it's the fact that it was in the middle of the national anthem, and he threw it right in front of the Kraken's team.
Yeah, all I'm saying is in the bullshit meter for hockey fans, Dallas Stars are in the top 5 and rising. And it's because of how they some of it was how they acted in the playoffs last year. It just looks tacky. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we're going to the game on New Year's.
That'll be fun. That should be
fun.
Yeah, that
Hopefully
should be good.
We win. They're playing the Blackhawks, worst team in the division right now. But football, let's go.
All right. Football is a thing. Thursday night game on the 21st, Saints Rams.
Yeah, who's playing?
Rams. No, that was on. Yeah, the Rams beat the Saints. Rams are 8-7 now. and I believe they are in a playoff spot. They are the 6th seed right now for the playoffs. Bucks are
All
4th.
for it.
Bucks are 4th. Rams 6th. Seahawks 7th. Rams are getting healthy. They're playing better. It looks like they found a way to run the ball with Kieran Williams. He had another 100-yard game with a touchdown. Puka Nacua, just 9 catches, 164 and a touchdown. But honestly, I can't stand Puka Nacua. Tired of fucking hearing about this guy. Puka. Puka me, Puka you. I'm like, Puka, get the fuck out of my
Is it
face.
giving you flashbacks of puka shells?
No, I have enough cringy ass pictures to have those flashbacks. But yeah, I mean the Rams are getting healthy at the right time, and if they're that 6th seed going into the playoffs, this is a dangerous team to play. If Stafford's throwing the ball like this, their defense is playing pretty well. I mean the Saints are no world beaters, so I mean 27 of 40 for 319, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That's not great to be giving up to Derek Carr, who's looked like he's definitely below average starting quarterback at this point in his career.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Rams have played themselves into a playoff spot. That division, I think I said at the beginning that 3 teams could make it to the playoffs out of this division. And right now you'd have 3. You would have the Rams, the Seahawks if it ended today. Rams, Seahawks, and the Niners would all be in the playoffs. So they'd suck up 2 of those wild card spots, which is pretty wild when you think about it, that they've been able to compete with how bad they looked in the beginning, the injuries to Cooper Kupp, and then finding Puka Nacua. They've been through a lot. They've traded away Cam Akers, who was their best, maybe their most consistent offensive player at running back, at least last year. Looked good for them in their Super Bowl run. Then he's out, so you get rid of him. I mean, they've changed up a lot, but they're looking dangerous. The Rams don't look like they're shitty. And if it's not for a punt return for a touchdown in overtime by the Ravens, they had the Ravens on the ropes. Like, they could easily win that game against the Ravens, and they could easily be 9-6 with a win over the best team in football, as some would say right now. And the Saints are just, I don't know what they're going to do, man. They got to get their shit together. They got to figure it out. They had 35 rushing yards all game. 35 rushing yards. Now, they did have almost 6 yards per play, so that's, pretty good. But still, 35 rush yards with Alvin Kamara. He had 9 carries for 19 yards. I mean, they got to start from the inside out. They got to think about this line. They got skill position players. They have good corners. They have a good linebacker. They have good pass rush. But fuck, man, they got to rethink their offensive line play. They got to rethink a lot of their offensive scheme. It seems like the Saints are trying to run the same shit without Sean Payton. Right? Does it feel? And it's not working.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the issues are centered around Derek Carr. It's like you have people on the team coming out and like saying all these bad things about him, saying how he's not a good quarterback and whatnot. So if your top players are coming out and saying that just kind of shows lack of trust in your most important position. And I think that's just kind of, we're seeing the effects of that in the offense, and they can't get anything going.
Yeah, I mean, as we look at, now the running game for the Rams is good. Passing game's been strong. Defense looks better. We'll see. That's going to be a scary team for anybody to play in the playoffs right now. Then we also saw the Bungles versus the Steelers. Bengals lose. Steelers coming in hot. 8-7. Every time Tomlin's about to be looking at a losing record, pulls another one out of his ass. They had Mason Rudolph, the man who cried N-word around the world and got hit in the head with a helmet by Myles Garrett. He had 290 for 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris had a touchdown. George Pickens had 2 touchdowns over 65 yards in this game. 4 catches, 195, 2 tutties. T. Higgins went off, though. I mean, Browning threw 3 picks, but, I mean, he's just chucking the ball all over the place. I mean, the Bengals are obviously kaput. They're 8-7, so I don't, have put any faith in them. But Steelers 8-7, 2 middle of the road teams. I think that's the new record now. It's always been right. It was like 5-6, 6-5. It was like, what are they good or are they bad? And all of these teams that were 3-3 when we were having that conversation are 8-7. right? They're 9. They're not. Yeah, they're 7-8. It's never. They're all like 5. There's a shit ton of middle of the road football going on right now, like a shitload.
Well, I think you can attribute not all of it, but a lot of it to injuries, and especially a quarterback.
Oh yeah, Bills beat the Chargers. Barn burner. Josh Allen touchdown. Gabe Davis 130 and a touchdown. Easton Stick 23 of 33 for 215. Eckler had 65 yards. I mean, Chargers
It kind of sucks we can't see the Chargers with Herbert without Brandon Staley. Like,
well,
to see the difference with him.
I said this team sucks. The Chargers suck. They have a good quarterback. Hasn't won anywhere he's ever been. He's got a losing record in the NFL. He had a losing record in college. He had a losing record in high school. Justin Herbert's not been some world beater the entire time he's been playing football. He's played bad in the biggest games of his career, always. He just has. I'm not saying he's not talented. He's got the cannon. He can do all this stuff. Now he's walking around with 2 goofy fucking fingers. He already looked goofy as shit before, and now he broke his other one. I'm just saying he looked goofy out there with his big ass weird Squidward finger, and now he's got 2 of them, and he forces the ball too much. He's partially why some of these wide receivers get hurt in the first place, because he thinks he can just fit the ball into anywhere. He doesn't necessarily set his players up for the best success with the throws that he chooses to make. You can make a case that Matt Stafford used to do that. He doesn't do that anymore. Matt Stafford used to do that shit all the time. Just getting people's heads taken the fuck off, throwing the ball around. You saw it happen with Gardner Minshew the other day. Tom Brady talked about it. Some balls you just don't throw because you want to keep your guys healthy and on the field. Right. So some throws I refuse to throw just because I didn't want to put my guy in that situation. Herbert don't give a fuck. The injury bug, ever since they stabbed Tyrod Taylor in the lung and punctured his lung on opening day, and he lost his starting job, ever since then this franchise has been cursed with injuries. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. How many times is Mike Williams getting hurt? Josh Jackson, Jason Verrett, Jason Verrett was a badass. How many corners have they had that have blown their legs out? Derwin James just missed all of last year, blowing out his fucking leg. It's like the injury bug is all over this team. I would stay the fuck away from it. It's so I just don't get why people are sold. They have a big, huge armed, flowing haired quarterback, and people are just like, eh. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence would do a better job with that roster than Justin Herbert would. And Trevor Lawrence has better weapons. I don't think Herbert does better on the Jags if you swap them. I think the Chargers have a better record than the Jags do. I just do. I just haven't seen him do it consistently. Misses throws consistently. And whenever he overthrows people, that shit gets fucking picked. It's not like he's overthrowing it. It's like he overthrows it by 3 feet and someone just jumps and catches it. A corner who's beat. It's underthrown for some fucking reason. Called it. Said it at the beginning of the year. Everybody gave me shit. Chargers don't make the playoffs. Trash. Bills 9-6. Do we believe in the Bills moving forward? They're pretty I mean, are they hot? Are they dangerous?
I think they're the Rams of the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to be. I think they're a dangerous team to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be a tough team to play. They'll play you on the road. They'll play you tough. Pass rush is a little sus. Secondary, they're still banged up on defense. I mean, it's not like, Easton. Somebody
Who do you think wins that?
Somebody whose first name is a bat, and somebody whose last name is something that you find in the woods because it's broken off of a bigger branch. Easton Stick went 23 of 33. He only threw 10 incomplete passes. Granted, it's 215 yards, but they put up 22 points. So it's not like you sat there and kicked the shit out of the Chargers. That was a close fucking game. That's a depleted, rough Charger. Now I know they're going through this gauntlet and they're playing with house money, just like I told you before the Cowboys had to play them and had to play Miami. You're playing motherfuckers that got something to play for, something bigger than what the Cowboys have to play for. They're gonna punch you in the mouth. Like that's a statement because of how the Cowboys and Dak MVP.
Well, the Bills punched us in the mouth. I wouldn't say Miami punched us in the mouth.
Yeah, but Miami, I don't think
we held them to one touchdown. So, for
yeah,
that offense.
But there was some bad. We'll get into it. I would say that yes, it wasn't necessarily a beatdown, but we'll get it. I disagree with you slightly. Go figure. But this Bills team, I mean, they can run the ball well. They got depth. They have good wide receivers. They have good tight end play. It's going to be curious if they stay healthy and they get into the playoffs hot, it's possible. But if they get into that little like ball rolling downhill where they're just bleeding the fucking ball like we've seen them do, like we've seen the Eagles do in games, like we've seen the Lions do in games, the Cowboys, you got to avoid that shit as much as possible. We literally just watch another team, and the Niners have it, where you're just bleeding the fucking ball. Like the last episode, Fumble Town, USA, dude. Just fumbles everywhere. I swear there's got to be more fumbles this season than any season. Crazy. Yeah, Bills beat Chargers. We'll see. Chargers. I mean, Bills still got a road to climb, but they could finish 11-6. They could finish 11-6, and that's wild.
They can still win the division.
I know that Miami hasn't locked it up because the Bills won't lose. They refuse to go away, and we've seen this. Teams get hot, go into the playoffs, refuse to lose, find themselves in the AFC Championship game of the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that they will, but I mean we've seen this fucking script before. We've seen we saw Eli Manning and the Giants do it. First Super Bowl. 9-7, won all their games on the road, won like 5 games in a row going into the playoffs. It's possible. Commanders, Jets, garbage. Nothing to really talk about here except Jacoby Brissett replaced my boy, Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell's still legit. I think that team's just in disarray. They don't have shit. They don't have any pieces. Yeah. They don't have any real pieces to be truly competitive. But, I mean, Giants sneak out a win, 6-9. Washington Commanders, 4-11. Just waiting for that draft. I feel like the Washington's just waiting for the draft. I would be. Lions, Vikings. Lions beat the Vikings. Nick Mullins throws 4 picks. Jared Goff, 30 of 40, 257 and a touchdown. Man, Jahmyr Gibbs, talk about hitting full form. That dude is nasty. And, obviously Montgomery gets a lot of praise too, because I think Montgomery's fucking good. I wish Montgomery was a fucking Eagle. Like, that dude just runs people the fuck over. He is so tough. But, man, Jahmyr Gibbs is looking like the best running back that was in the draft. Bar none, hands down, deserved to maybe be picked higher than he was. You could say Bijan Robinson is the best, but what we're seeing right now out of Gibbs and the impact he has on the touches, man, there was one play, I don't remember who it was. He juked somebody like into the shadow realm, man. Hit the hole, and this dude went sliding in front of him. Just flew in front of him. Like on a fucking slip and slide. And he had a beeline for him to just sat. And all he did was do a little stutter step, put it down and plant. And this guy just went gulp, just clumped. His legs kept going, and his upper half was like reaching out for him. It was wild. Jahmyr Gibbs is good. In Minnesota, 7-8. It's sad because I feel like if they had Kirk Cousins, they might be in the playoff hunt. They could be in competition with the Lions potentially for the division if Kirk Cousins is healthy. I know we were giving them shit, talking about how bad they've been, and they were, man, but they compete. Like, it's not like they're going away in these games. I mean, 24-30, it's a pick. If Nick Mullins doesn't fucking mallard duck that throw out there, he's got a touchdown. That game, he's got a touchdown with a field goal to win the game. They were driving, and then he throws a pick. And it was almost like kind of a bad call. He didn't really need to throw it. They still had some time. But, I mean, Jefferson was wide the fuck open. It was a bad throw by a bad quarterback that we've seen arbitrarily win games for, like, San Francisco when Garoppolo was out. I remember Nick Mullins because McMullins won like 3 or 4 games in a row for them. But yeah, I mean, Lions win the division first time in 30 years.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when they said that.
Home playoff game. That's huge. I mean, Dan Campbell, the soup man. You know that Dan Campbell was on the Lions team that went 0-16? So that's huge. He's also a Cowboy. But Dan Campbell was...
So do you think they play the Cowboys not as hard this weekend because of coming off the high of clinching the division?
No, because I think they're still in play for the 2 seed. They're still playing for seeding, man. Like, they're still playing for seeding. You are too.
Well, so is Cowboy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, like, if they beat you...
And we haven't clinched the division, so...
Yeah, so if they beat you, they're in a better position to have the 2 seed. To lock up home field advantage, except for if they play San Francisco in the AFC Championship game. So that's what I'm saying is they have everything to play for. Now they want all of their games at home unless they're playing San Francisco.
And I'll be honest, I want Cowboys to win just because I would rather go into the playoffs with a 2-game win streak than a 3-game lose streak and a win against Washington.
Well, yeah, I mean, ideally you're playing your best football going into the playoffs. That's what you hope for. I mean, I want a toilet made out of gold. That's probably not going to happen. So, I mean, you gotta hope for that. But that's what I'm saying. Lions, if the Lions had lost this game to the Vikings,
yeah,
you guys would have gotten destroyed. And not because the Cowboys aren't good, but they would have been like, yeah, they're celebrating, but they got something to prove. This Lions team now has 2 more games they can go out and win, put up the most wins they've put up in Lord knows how long. Fuck winning the division. This could be they're 11-4, so they have the same record. They're 11-4. They got 2 more games left. They could go 13-4. That's like the moon for them if they're able to pull that off. As they get healthier and they're getting Gardner Johnson back and all these other people, there's going to be a whole nother swagger. And Gardner Johnson's probably going to play in this Cowboys game. He hates the Cowboys, but he also hates Tom Brady. He's just kind of hates everyone. So if he comes, it'll be a good game. It's going to be interesting because it is a potential playoff matchup. You could see this team
Saturday night too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, only game on, so that's gonna be big lights. We're gonna see Goff versus Dak. You're gonna get to see Jahmyr Gibbs, and if Gibbs and Montgomery go at that Cowboys run defense, that could be.
And I think it's Cowboys' last home game of the season. I think we play at Washington.
Yeah, we have the Cardinals at home, and then we play the Giants. So we have these 3 games at home, then we play the Giants. Browns Texans. Browns win. Joe Flacco, dude, I fucking love Joe Flacco.
Real deal, man.
I loved Joe Flacco when he played. I loved him on the. I know I do. I just fucking love Joe Flacco. There's something about that blue hen motherfucker, and just how. Just Joey the Crowbar.
You think he gets a contract with another team next year?
I bet you they're gonna keep him. Another team.
You think the Browns will?
Yeah,
over Watson.
They're gonna keep Watson, but they're gonna keep him as a backup. I mean, what's to stop you from cutting Watson and eating all that cap money and just fucking dealing with it?
Dude, I bet he can.
We'll get into that when it comes to
40 million somewhere.
We'll get into that when we talk about your Denver Broncos. But some teams are going to sign you to big deals and just say, "Fuck it, we're going to lose the money." And Joe Flacco is out. All of their receivers are performing better than they've performed all year. And Njoku's actually catching touchdowns. He's actually looking like he's reaching his full potential.
Imagine if Joe Flacco went to the Falcons next year. Just you know what?
Imagine him on the Falcons. There's a lot of teams that are kicking themselves in the dick for not signing Joe Flacco and having him on their team.
Man.
And just think he was just on the couch. Mari Cooper, 11 for 265, 2 touchdowns.
Career day for the Coop.
Most receiving yards in Browns history in a game, breaking Sir Smokes-a-Lot Josh Gordon by 8 or 9 yards. I mean, they just lit them up. They're passing the ball well. Their defense, they have a great defense. They can run the ball regardless of who's behind that O-line. Like I said, Joe Flacco, best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL playoff history. One of the best statistical quarterbacks in the history of football of all time in the playoffs. Joe Flacco is on an extremely short list, and that's even when they don't win the Super Bowl. The numbers that dude puts up in the playoffs are fucking insane.
Yeah, I
With
take
the
it back.
talent they have, it's anything's possible, man. With that
Browns are
defense,
the scariest in the AFC. Because I said even the last thing about Flacco with that defense and how resemblance it was to him on the Ravens when he won his ship. Like, that would be the coolest story for the AFC. Flacco takes the Browns to the ship.
oh, that
Even though Lamar getting his ticket would be really cool too.
if Joe Flacco, if somebody named Joey Flacco takes the Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl after sitting on a fucking couch, even if he makes it
There will be a movie about it.
like no, dude, like he's even more legendary. People love to discount because there's after he won the Super Bowl, he was made the highest paid quarterback in the league. A lot of people threw a titty fit about it, like he's not that good. But you look at what that guy does in the playoffs, in the clutch. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody you'd rather have, and that's not just like an opinion. That's like unstatistical fact. You'd be hard pressed. You would if you put his numbers up with a picture of 10 great quarterbacks who've won multiple Super Bowls, you would probably attribute his numbers to somebody else. You're like, oh, that's Drew Brees. No, that's Joe Flacco. Fuck no, that's Joe Flacco. Drew Brees choked in the playoffs. Joe Flacco, and he played in an era and won in an era with Peyton Manning, peak Peyton Manning, peak Drew Brees, peak Tom Brady, peak Aaron Rodgers. So it's not like he was going up against fucking scrubs. He was there. The people he was competing against were, outside of Mahomes because he wasn't in the league yet. He was going up against all the old schools. He's one of the few people who won one Super Bowl. There's like Brady, Breeze, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Roethlisberger, multiple. Peyton Manning, multiple. Tom Brady, multiple. Eli Manning, Eli, multiple. No, like it's true. In that era, there's a short list of quarterbacks who won other than those chuckle fucks, or even played in the game. But yeah, Browns are lighting it up, and with that defense, and they have talent. They still got Kareem Hunt, who runs angry. They can play ball control if you want them to. And Joe Flacco's got a cannon, man. He's a 6'7.5" blue hen from Delaware. Joey the fucking
he looks
crowbar,
like
dude.
Fun. He's just letting it fly.
Yeah, he's living his best fucking life. And you love to see it. And I'm sure the Jets wish they had him whenever because they had him last year. They had him last year and he played pretty good. I bet you they wish they had him this year. Rather Wilson, like they let him walk. They just cut him. And they just he doesn't want to play. And Joey Flacco's like, dude, I'm out here fucking slanging dick, laying pipe, and busting boxes with crowbars, dude. I'm Joey the Crowbar. Get the fuck out of here. Act like you know who the fuck I am, man. I love it. 100%, like the stories like what Joe Flacco's doing right now is what makes football fucking awesome. We love all the other stuff, but like your Max Crosby's, like, oh man, like dude battling substance abuse issues, all these issues in college, getting skipped over in the draft when he easily could have been a first round pick because of his own shit. And you see what Max Crosby is doing after that dude battled his demons and what he's doing with the Raiders, just like heart and soul of that fucking city. And he is a psychopath on the football field. And you love to see that because he's genuinely having fun. Like he's playing because he loves it. He had every reason to walk away and was told that he probably should, and he chose to stay and figured his shit out. And you just see like a grown ass man playing football like he's still at recess and it's 6th grade, and that's why we all played and like football. It's like that. You can see that in Flacco whenever there was that one pass he threw. Like I think it was that bomb to Cooper and he caught it, and he's just like, what the fuck's happening right now? He's on like a crazy recess run. I know I'm getting fanboy over it, and I know you hate. I know you hate Joe Flacco because he put it on your Broncos, but you gotta fucking love the Flax, man. You gotta love the Flacco, man. Packers beat the Panthers. Panthers choke at the end of the game. Bryce Young probably had one of his best games, 23 of 36, 312, and 2 touchdowns. DJ Chark never should have gone there. He chased the fucking bag. He'd be so much better on another team. 6 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I mean, you know, Packers 7-8, Panthers 2-13. Packers are waiting on the draft. I think they got a gem in Jordan Love long term. It's just going to be some growing pains. And I think they actually have to invest in weapons around him.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, tweak their offense a little bit to treat them a little bit better. Then you got the return of Geno Smith. Seahawks are 8-7. They beat Tennessee 5-10. Tannehill played. Kenneth Walker, okay, 54 yards. Geno had 2 touchdowns. Lockett 8 for 81. Seattle's sitting on a playoff spot. I think Tennessee's got their quarterback in Levis for right now as well. I just feel like they're looking to drop the Henry contract and revamp, look at things, change stuff. I think Vrabel's gonna make some adjustments to keep his fucking job, because I think if they show up and do what they did this year, next year, if he keeps his job in the offseason, Vrabel's fucking out. If they have another year like this year, Vrabel's gonna get the fuck out. They've been winning too much and were too consistently good at the top of the AFC the past 3 or 4 years for them to fall to 5-10. They got to like figure it the fuck out, or he's gonna lose his job. Falcons beat the Colts. Colts choke 8-7. Falcons 7-8. Heineke, who are they fucking playing at quarterback? Now it's Taylor Heineke. That they should have just left in the other guy. They should have just left in Mr. Cincinnati. I mean, if that rookie needs to get he needs to get the fuck out of there. What's his name?
Bijan?
No, not Bijan. The quarterback.
I forget.
Oh, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, Ritter needs to get the fuck out of there. I don't think Ritter's as bad as they think. I think that, you know, benching him and then say like, nah, you're our guy, and then benching him, you're just fucking with the kid's head. They just got to move on. They should just be looking to draft a quarterback. 7-8's not helping Atlanta at all in the draft with what they need. If they're not going to stick with somebody and invest in an offensive-minded head coach and really focus on the offense, get the fuck out of here. Because Heineke will win in a dumpster heap. We've seen him do that before. We saw him take a really shitty Washington team into the playoffs and almost beat Tampa Bay the year they won the Super Bowl, playing for Washington with Terry McLaurin and a bunch of random shit. But, you know, Gardner Minshew and them, they choked. Jonathan Taylor back from breaking his thumb and having thumb surgery, 1 touchdown. Robinson, leading receiver, 7 for 50. Robinson, leading rusher, 12 for 72. Atlanta's bad. I mean, what's the record for the Bucks? Because the Bucks are 8-7 too. So it's like if one of these fucks lose, you could be playing Atlanta, or you're gonna be playing in Atlanta.
But the Bucks are on a hot streak right now. Baker's actually looking pretty good.
No, they're playing within themselves on offense, and we've seen flashes of it, and they're playing complete games. Their defense has always been good. They have lots of talent, 2 great linebackers, a good pass rush, above average corner play, and a good Safety and Winfrey Jr.
I think they win the division.
I hope so. At 8-7, somebody fucking needs to win this division. So somebody has to. And now it's not the Saints, but who knows? Everybody could lose 2 games, and the Saints could win 2, and it could be the fucking Saints, because that's how ridiculous that division is. 8-7, 8-7, garbage. So I'm not gonna waste my breath on that shit. Jags Bucks. Jags imploding, man. Are the Jags imploding? They're 8-7 now. Weren't they like 6-2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were up at one point to be number 1 in AFC.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they lost a game, and if they had won that game, they would have been the number 1 seed. And now they're down to 8-7, lose to Tampa. Baker. See what that's Baker, 26 of 35. I've always said you don't want Baker. What's my number? I always say 35 times. Throwing more than like 30, 35 times, that's not good. 26 of 35 for 283. That's dink and dunk. That's short. 2 touchdowns. They're running the ball. Evans, 7 for 86, 2 touchdowns. That's, those are intermediate routes. I mean, obviously he probably had some long deep pass where he's just like, I'm a tall skeleton man, and snags it. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence, leading rusher, 4 carries for 29 yards. Where the Jags are imploding right now. I know they got bit by the injury bug a little bit, but this is not what you wanted. This is not the same team that started the year. This is not the same team. Yeah, this looks like the team that got the shit kicked out of them by San Francisco. After they got destroyed by San Francisco, I don't think they've won a game. They look really bad. The Jags look really bad. They look like they've regressed substantially. All right, we'll get into it. Cowboys at 10-5. Dolphins 11-4 now. Cowboys lose 20-22. Dak Prescott 20-32 for 253 and 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, who sucks, and should not when it comes to finding the end zone. No, when it comes to finding the end zone, absolutely. He is not a power running back, and that's where
we're using him as.
You miss,
but he doesn't suck. We're just misusing him.
You're asking him to be the lead back, which is what Zeke was last year, especially in the red zone, and that's not. Most of his touchdowns last year were runs that started outside of the red zone or at the 20. So I mean, and there was a big touchdown play where he got snagged down. Very next play, fumble, and I called that they were going to give it to him. I was like, they're going to give it to this Limke motherfucker who's just a monster. Fumble. CeeDee Lamb 6 for 118, but most of that was in the first quarter. He had like 6. I think he didn't have any catches the whole second half.
Tyreek wasn't targeted.
And what's wild is Tyreek Hill had 9 for 99 yards, and he didn't do shit the first half. It's like they flip flopped. CD had the first quarter, and then the second half just belonged to Tyreek Hill. Raheem Mostert got hurt, came back to 24-37 for 293 and a touchdown. Couple more attempts, couple more completions, a few more yards. I mean, the Cowboys on offense, I mean, Dak played okay. CD, 6 for 118. Then Tolbert, 2 for 51. One of them was on a big, deep, long, good catch. The next was Ferguson, 4 for 45. Then 2. It's like CeeDee Lamb.
It was weird, too.
CeeDee Lamb or bust right now. Where's Michael Gallup?
Well,
2
Cowboys
catches.
Offense was looking solid, and then Waddle got hurt. And then it started raining. And then it was like after the rain started, it was like, oh, this feels like a different game now for some reason. It was weird. Because Cowboys on our first 2 drives, even when we fumbled, we were moving that ball with ease. And it looked nice. And then, like I said, Waddle got his eye. At first, it looked like his eye almost got poked out. I wish they would have showed the replay because it didn't look like our player's hand. It was almost like because it looked like he shouldered him.
No,
like he gave him a big shoulder.
No, dude, his fucking hand goes bow right through his face.
Show the replay
I saw they showed a replay, and it was like, oh, what happened? And you just see DeMarcus Lawrence go bah. I don't think he necessarily did it on purpose, but that motherfucker's hand went through his face, like right in the hole of his face mask, and you just see Waddle go down instantly, like pow, right in the face.
Yeah, right after that, and then it started raining. The game like flipped script.
But on 4-12 on third down, not good. They were 2 for 2. They had 61 plays. They gave up 4 sacks. They had 3 punts. They lost a fumble. Cowboys 1 time of possession. If it's not CeeDee Lamb, Cowboys their offense is not that impressive.
Cooks got the
Cooks. But I mean, the Cooks. Every once in a blue moon is going to get a touchdown. Cooks is a legend.
Ferguson's good.
Ferguson could be at 4 for 45. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're gonna double CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup's gonna get 2 for 4 yards. He's not even running fucking routes, just running screen routes. It's like Michael Gallup's non-existent.
It's hard for Dak to get a check down when our multiple times in the game our offensive line is letting a rusher on the edge go.
Oh, Biotish has regressed massively. Biotish looked terrible. The offensive line did not look good. They got manhandled, and
I would take a manhandling, but like I said, multiple times when
I've heard.
Literally, you go this way when you have a guy to your left, and you go, oh, I'm not just gonna block him. I'm gonna double up this guy. Let this guy just go right after my quarterback. Are you fucking kidding me? Where is the fucking communication here? How do you not know that this dude's coming when he's not a safety.
What do you mean? There's communication. Here we go. Stupidest fucking cadence. I
No,
can't.
that stadium was pretty fucking loud.
No, every time I hear Dak go, here we go. Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, if it was an Eagles thing, you would love it. Yeah.
No, hey, at least he
No.
talks. At least he talks. Jalen Hurts just be like,
Yeah, I know.
doesn't even talk. That boy like deaf mute when he's playing football. It's wild.
He looks emo on the fucking sideline, bro.
He's
That face paint doesn't help.
But hey, he's had 4 game-winning drives this year. 4 game-winning drives where he just never gets too up, never gets too down. He is even as they come, and I appreciate all of like his comments post-game and pre-game where he's like, he takes accountability, he calls himself out, calls other people out. So like,
Doesn't know the definition of fucking commitment. Look at this guy.
What do you mean doesn't know the definition of the word commitment?
Did you not see that press conference with your boy?
No, I didn't see where they asked him what
He said, no, he used the word commitment, and he said about like the team. I don't think there needs to be more committed. And then the journalist, like not trying to be smart or anything, was just like, well, what do you mean by committed? Like, what do you mean as far as the team wise? And his response was literally like, well, I don't have like a dictionary on me right now. So, and it was like, bro, so you're using words you just don't know the meaning of? Like,
no, I think that's a context thing. I think he's talking about.
Watch
no,
it.
you're asking. He's calling out.
Dictionary.
He's calling out Brad. He's calling out Bradbury, giving up every single catch, including the game-winning touchdown on the final drive of a game, and being like, you didn't look committed to the play, or like you were committed to seeing the game all the way through.
That's what he should have said.
Yeah, that's what.
Act like he didn't know what the word meant.
Well, I think he's trying not to call people out by name. He's trying to do it, broad strokes.
What a bitch.
But Cowboys lose, fall back into second place. They are a true game behind the Eagles now.
Yeah.
If both teams win out, it comes to like a 5th level tiebreaker, and I think the Eagles win it because it's strength of schedule. Eagles have had the easiest schedule, or Cowboys have had the 3rd easiest schedule this season.
Well, if y'all lose to the Giants, it's sweep, and we win out, y'all. We take it.
No, if we're tied though, if we beat the Cardinals and lose to the Giants, we still win the division.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure.
Y'all have a worse divisional record. If we win out and y'all lose to the Giants, that would make y'all 2 losses in the division and us only 1.
Do y'all play everybody against Washington, do you think?
If it comes down to winning yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Especially the way we've been playing, yeah.
I think if we beat the Cardinals and y'all lose to the Lions, I think they sit a shit ton of people for the last game.
Well, I didn't know the scenario with us losing the Lions.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's be realistic here. But yeah, I mean, and in this game, I think that the Cowboys weren't in it as much as it looked. I think that the Dolphins beat them pretty soundly, made some bad plays. There were some points left on the board by them on some bad calls. But I think that if they're able to not kick 5 field goals and not get like really like kind of ticky-tacky calls, just like y'all got with the amount of times they were in the red zone, I mean, this game could have been way worse. Miami could have put up a lot more points if they wouldn't have been so conservative. I think they went for it early on 4th down. In the beginning of the game, I want to say it was their 1st or 2nd drive, and they didn't get it, and they kind of strayed away from it after that. But I mean, I don't think this game indicates how dominant they were, especially later in the game. On defense, their running game looked well. Their D line played really well. Their D tackles, like you said, gave a lot of issues. The longer the game went, it was just like your offensive line was getting more and more tired, and the running game was less and less. So it took a little bit, but I feel like it reached that point where it's like, all right, Dak's got to go win this game for us, and I think that's
he did.
I think that's a formula for the Cowboys to lose. Honestly, if it's Dak's got to go out there and get it done and win,
but he's been doing it this year. That's the thing.
No, because it's been a collective effort. It's the same thing with your defense. Your defense is historic with leads. Your defense is terrible when you don't have a lead. It's like so whenever it goes up, it rains, it pours. Like I'm talking like
Well,
against the Patriots game. Patriots
I
game.
know.
They got the ball. They got the first drive. Then the
Oh.
very next thing. Wait, no. Then it was a fumble, interception, fumble, return for a touchdown, and then it's another fumble, and the Cowboys are up 21-0 in the first quarter. Yeah,
Then what's the excuse of Miami when our offense gets the lead with
I
two
trust Miami's
minutes?
offense to score more and score faster and more efficiently than the Cowboys. Their whole thing is
When we've held them to one touchdown all game.
the Cowboys are a speed-based team that are trying to pretend to be a physical football team. When the Cowboys stop pretending like there's some big physical juggernaut force running around manhandling people, and they admit that like Brandon Cooks, Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, all of these guys are literal speedsters, fast guys, route runners that are difficult sideline to sideline, which is exactly what your defense is based on as well. When they stop trying to masquerade and play this like tick for tat, we're gonna punch somebody in the mouth football. That's when the Cowboys win. It's whenever they are creative and they try to be exciting on offense. They put CeeDee Lamb, and they're great at doing that with CeeDee Lamb. But that's about where it stops. If they're gonna continue to do this fraudulent power football game thing and just admit that they're a finesse speed football team, they'd be better off, because that's where the offense, especially for the Dolphins, it shows. Like they're like, this is our identity. We are fast sideline to sideline. We are fast running the ball. We are fast at wide receiver. We get the ball out fast. We make decisions fast. Everything we do is based off of speed. And that's why I was like, oh, well, Cowboys just scored. Miami's going down and scoring. They're getting in scoring range at least. They're going to be in field goal range pretty quick, because they've got that dialed up. It's not like, okay, well, now we need to go to that chapter of our playbook and really look to score quick. That's every page. Every page on Miami's offense is score quick. And the Cowboys have been like that and can be like that. But whenever it's like they try to match wit for wit with who they're playing. It's like Mike McCarthy wants to be power football, but it's like, nah, man, like you don't have the backs for it. You don't have, your O-line isn't what it necessarily should be when it comes to that, especially at left tackle. You can't pull that old fuck out there. Last time we let him do that, it was last year, and he almost blew his knee out in practice. Just running around, and Ty Smith is great. Hall of Famer. Tyron Smith doesn't need to be doing some pull power dive, running into fucking Joey Bosa on the outside, or Nick Bosa, or Grandpa Bosa. He's just as old as that fucker, right? So like when the Cowboys stop pretending like they're something they're not, that's when they win. That's when they like beat the shit out of people, and they just keep racking up points. And you're like, dang.
But your point is their downfall is trying to match a tough team, but yet Miami isn't that. So
no, but Miami's not. But what I'm saying is Miami on defense, especially the interior D line and stuff, their defensive structure is meant to play nasty football. They're built on defense to be nasty, but on offense, they're built to be just fast. They can put up points, light up the fucking scoreboard, right? It's the same with the Eagles. Can light up the fucking scoreboard. What are you calling? What are these play calls?
let's be real. If Miami didn't have a good kicker, even then, we wouldn't be like, our defense would be, or you wouldn't say so much about their offense, because, I mean, well, how many was it? 3?
No, but this is what I'm saying is like, if you told me, okay, Cowboys play a game. Dak Prescott 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys lost that game. I don't need to see the scoreboard. Cowboys lost that game. CeeDee Lamb has 6 catches for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. Cowboys lost that game. He is the best player. He's the person they put in the most positions to win his matchup and get him the fucking ball. And if that's all he's doing, he's losing the game. Like, y'all are losing the game. I'm looking at the stat line right now, and he's 6 for 118, 19 yards. The next is 2 for 51, and it's Jalen fucking Tolbert. Guarantee you one of those is on a bomb. and I watched the game, so I know it is. But without just seeing the stat line, they lost this game. There's no way they won that game because they're not putting anybody else in a position to win their matchup except for CeeDee Lamb. It's gonna bite them in the ass. Now, if you told me Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 99 yards, no touchdowns, they could win that game. It could be 2 catches for 30 yards, and they could still win that game because that offense is not solely structured around Tyreek Hill always winning his matchup.
Say all their other numbers, and you still wouldn't be like, "Oh, I don't know."
But they have two. Well, they have 2,000-yard receivers.
Say Waddle's
so
numbers.
well, they have.
Say
But,
Waddle's numbers.
but they have 2,000-yard receivers, and that
I
just
know.
further proves my point.
But Waddle didn't have good numbers.
No, but Waddle had a bomb catch in the beginning of the game.
That was it.
And then he got poked
That was
in the
it.
fucking eye. And then Tyreek Hill came on. What I'm saying is it's pick your poison. With the Cowboys is there's one poison. It's CeeDee Lamb. It's occasionally Ferguson on a little flare out or a seam where you throw it high. And
Yeah.
Ferguson's legit. I'm not hating on him. I'm saying Ferguson is
Cooks
great.
has made big plays for us the past 4 to 5 weeks, and even making a game drive-ending touchdown last game. So to say it's just CD, I think is kind of narrow-minded.
No, it's not. It's not narrow-minded.
Because Cooks has been coming up. If you want to, the only thing
2 catches, 14 yards, 1 touchdown.
Hasn't performed up to his measure, and Gallup has pretty much really nowhere been seen.
Would you rather have
Gallup?
Would you rather have kept Amari
I don't
Cooper?
see him in the game.
Would you rather have kept
Well, of
Amari
course.
Cooper and not paid? Because all of the Cowboys fans were like, "Get Cooper the fuck out of here." We'd rather have
I
Michael
didn't say
Gallup.
that.
He's worth the
I have a
money.
Cooper jersey.
Why not? This one, 2
I like
catches,
saying "Coo."
2 catches, 14 yards, 1 touchdown. That's not coming on. That was a great route, great play. He's a great in some big moments, but you can't sit there and say, "Oh, Brendan Cook's old reliable." Because if you averaged out what he's done, it's not like he's got 700 yards of receiving this year. I don't even think he has 5. He's caught some.
Well, the debate was Cooper or not being able to really sustain 2 number 1 receivers. And the whole thing was, is CeeDee Lamb going to fill that spot? And he has.
CeeDee Lamb, yes, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best receivers in the league. And there's tons of other talent that isn't doing shit. Schumacher, 1 for 4. Turpin, 1 for 4. Gallup, 2 for 4. Tony Pollard, 1 for 5. Lemke, 1 for 8. Brendan Cooks, 2 for 14. Ferguson, 4 for 45. 2 for 51.
Yeah, it was just that game, though. It was a bad game.
But then you see 9 for
Last
99,
few games.
5 for 56, 1 for 50, 3 for 42. So it's like, I'm just saying, there's nothing about the Cowboys offense outside of CeeDee Lamb and the occasional Ferguson route whenever everyone, especially in the red zone, because Ferguson's a beast. No denying that. Way more athletic than people give him credit for. I think he gets overlooked when he's out there on the field and he's running these routes. I think a lot of these safeties and linebackers and corners think they're so much faster than him that when he does get by them, they can't catch back up and the ball's thrown high and they're like, fuck. This guy's actually... And then he's really hard to fucking bring down. Dallas Goedert and Ferguson are almost the same. Ferguson's probably a little more power and is definitely a little bit taller. I'd say Goddard's a better route runner and is more athletic in the speed department. But both of those guys are nightmare matchups. But outside of those, I don't think that the Cowboys spook anybody when it comes to that. When it comes to Dak going out there. Because, damn near almost half of his passes are completed to one person. And that's all in the first half. That's what I'm like. It's not... There's no continuity in the offense. So we'll see a lot. And then also the penalties. The penalties... Just the timing of penalties for the Cowboys are brutal. Like
one of the worst ones.
Damon Clark is got to be the dumbest motherfucker out there running around ripping face mask. He did it last week. Just horribly timed face masks, horribly timed penalties that are so bad. It's like, dude, like what the fuck are you doing in this moment? And I'm not even a Cowboys fan. And I'm like, dude, because he flies all over the place. Number 33 for y'all. I love me some Marquise Bell. And Damon Clark is a mean man. But, dude, he is so unhinged crazy. He's like Sidney Brown for the Eagles. It's like, dude, take a deep fucking breath. You have your job tomorrow. I promise. Like, you don't need to
Did
rip.
you hear, what's his name? Our linebacker that got dropped today? For smoking weed.
Rashard Evans. Someone's going to scoop him up. Rashard Evans can play football. Rashard Evans can play football.
I know. Right when I heard, honestly, I go, we're still punishing dudes? I thought we were past the weed punish.
And like how he got pulled over in Frisco, and it's like, what was he doing? It's like, he was just black in Frisco, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? That's all he was doing. He was just in Frisco. He like went to a quick trip, and they're like, hey, there's a black man. We should stop him. And then later,
Funny you say that.
And what's awesome is I bet you
over in South Lake today, and me and my dad go, "Oh, that's not good."
I bet yeah, of course not. That's why I got tent. I was like, I want my tent, and I want it for free. And they were like, "Why do you care so much?" I was like, "Because I live in like the South Lake area, and I'm not trying to have people be like, hey, buddy, is this really your car?" Like, yes, it is. Get the fuck out of here. Bears beat the Cardinals 6-9. Cardinals 3-12. Kyler 24-38 for 230. Justin Fields played like Justin Fields. I mean, not a lot to be said here. He looks well. They need. I mean, I don't know. I think that they need to get a new coaching staff. Honestly, I think you keep Fields, trade back some of your picks. They have 2 first-round picks. They need to trade back the one that's at the top of the draft, unless they're drafting an O-lineman or some transcendent defensive player. They need to trade the fuck back, get multiple picks, and just load up. I think Justin Fields will be good for somebody, if not them, and they'd be stupid to let him go because they're not going to replace. You let go of Mahomes, so like you're never going to live that shit down. All right, Joe. Now it's your turn. Pats Broncos. Pats Bailey Zappi. Zapipi?
Yeah.
Zapipi fucked Russell Wilson. 25 of 37, 238, 2 touchdowns, and he just got benched for the rest of the year. Then Zappy, 25 of 33, 256, 2 touchdowns. The pride of Western Kentucky. Zeke Elliott.
I didn't watch the game, but I saw the footage of Sean Payton yelling at him. Do we know
he got benched.
What was going on there?
I mean,
but I'm saying, like, what happened in the game in that moment where he decided to ream into Wilson?
I don't know what happened exactly, but I think it's kind of boiling over from the rest of the season, too. He's just kind of keeps building up, and now it's just Sean Payton letting it loose.
Well, they benched him, and they're saying if he doesn't pass a physical... So they're saying they're going to cut him because if he doesn't pass a physical in March, they owe him he's already guaranteed $37 million next year, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And then if he doesn't pass a physical or play, then they owe him by March. They owe him another $36 million. So something by benching him. If they bench him now, then they can cut ties and they don't owe him that $36 million guaranteed. Something goofy like that. It's pretty fucked up.
No, see, I saw that they were benching him now so he doesn't get injured, so he can pass that physical in March. And we don't have to pay him the $37 million.
That makes more sense. Okay, so they're benching him now for next year, but they're saying they might just cut him. Take the dead cap
that's
space.
What the narrative has changed to. Like, initially the narrative was, we don't want to make sure he's healthy. You don't want to pay him the $37 million. And now I think people are just trying to make a story. They're saying, oh no, we're gonna cut him. They're gonna cut him. Blah blah blah. That makes no sense. If we cut him, it's like $82 million in dead cap over the next 2 years. Like, what are we gonna do? We can't go out and sign a good quarterback with that much dead money. And he's been doing well. I think he's like the 7th rated passer, or has the 7th best passer rating in the league or something like that.
Yeah, now y'all are starting.
He got me 22 points on my fantasy last week.
Like, he hasn't been doing bad. Give him like another year in Sean Payton's offense. Let Sean Payton keep working on him. Like, he's gonna be better than any quarterback we can go out there and get. So I genuinely think it's just resting him so he is healthy in March, because cutting him just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's just the narrative. I mean, how do you feel about the team going into next year? You have no first-round picks, right?
No, I don't. Yeah, no first round picks next year. I mean, we've shown some positive things throughout the year. I mean, in our game against the Patriots, we were down what 23-7,
Yeah,
came back, tied it up in the fourth quarter. Like that's a good thing. Not good that we only had 7 points going into the fourth quarter, but you got to focus on the positives here, you know.
yeah.
But I
That's
mean, we've lost 2 or 3 games on the last play of the game.
yeah.
Like we turn those around, that goes the other way. We're firmly in the playoffs right now.
You could be in
So I
first
think there's a lot
place
of positives, right? Yeah,
the
fuck
way
with the
with the
Chiefs.
Chiefs because they're only 9-6. So it's what's crazy is like
Hmm.
losing this game, losing the other game when you had the opportunity. You could be tied for in first place right now, easily in the
Yeah.
past 2 weeks. And I think that's why they're benching him. Is now that that's not possible, they got to just focus on next year, see what they got talent wise. Like I said, I mean, now
Hmm.
I think they were waiting for the draft, and now they're not, and now the Broncos are waiting for the draft again. They're just like, all
Yeah.
right, let's. What are we doing? What are we doing, Russ, Mister Danger Russ? Do your thing. And New England's trash. I mean, they're gonna have to completely rethink and revamp. It's gonna be interesting to see what the Patriots are like in the next 5 years because it's gonna be totally different. Like, what's their offense gonna look like with Belichick gone? What's the approach? It's gonna be like totally different. He's been there for so fucking long, and it's not like you're gonna have some Mike Tomlin fall in your lap where it's like, oh, well, we're losing the Steelers. What was his name? Why can I not remember his name? The old Steelers head
Was
coach.
it Mike something?
What, talking about the guy on CBS?
Yeah,
I know. I can always forget his name. Also, I hate that
but
pregame
but great
crew.
coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Mike Tomlin fills that role, fills that void for them in the same way where there was continuity in coaching style
Pete
and
something?
toughness.
Bill
Pete
Cower.
Yeah, Bill
Bill.
Cowher. Yeah, so Bill
Yeah.
Cowher. So Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin, similar, like leaders of men and attitude and like we're fucking grinders and we're Steelers and they fit that mold. So there was continuity. That's why like Super Bowl and then kind of that, and then it was like, oh, Tomlin's back in the Super Bowl pretty shortly thereafter because it was like the same culture, the same kind of fucking vibe. I don't know if you want the same fucking vibe floating around New England once that asshole's gone. I think once he leaves, you want to completely redo it because your offense it's not going to be the same. You just can't expect it to.
Mhm.
But watch like Mike Vrabel get fired and Mike Vrabel get hired as a replacement of a head coach. Something. Watch them go.
Mm.
Keep it in house. He's already got the experience. He's had a number one seed before in the Titans. Watch fucking 3 time Super Bowl Patriots linebacker with Teddy Bruschi and the boys. Watch that guy come replace. I could see something like that happening, and then you'd have some sort of continuity and attitude, and like an old linebackers coach used to be a linebackers coach for the Patriots and Bill Belichick under Patricia. I could easily see that happening if he gets fired. Raiders beat the Chiefs. Aiden O'Connell 9 for 21 for 62 yards. Good lord. Mahomes leading rusher 10 for 53 yards. Zamir White had 22 for 145. I mean, talk about a team that's regressing. Can we just say it? They've regressed. They had more yards. They only had 48 total passing yards for the Raiders in this game after the metrics, but they only had 85 rush. They only had 4.2 yards per play, and they lost. Mahomes played bad. Mahomes threw picks left and right.
Yeah, even their sideline
Well, he
was
only had
looking bad.
one, but
Like
he
they
should
were
have
just
thrown way more than one pick in this game. Um, I was saying this, and this is facts, and you don't have to take it as such, but I'm calling my shot in here. You are watching Andy Reid reach the point that he reached for my Eagles back whenever he had McNabb. Andy Reid is notorious for lots of things. People forget about this because he's been winning with Mahomes, but they forget. Horrible at clock management. Andy Reid, up until he won a Super Bowl, we've watched them lose games with Mahomes Bad clock management. That motherfucker can't call a timeout at the right time to save his life. And he hasn't the entire time he's been a coach. They win a lot now, so it's overlooked. But, dude, Andy Reid is so bad at clock management. It's not even funny. Number 2, 0 run game. Andy Reid does not like the run game. He does not believe that running the football is pivotal to winning. He believes in his quarterbacks, go figure, and believes in his offense, and he substitutes the run game with short pass. He has always done that. That's why we had Brian Westbrook and all these running backs who were all receiver-based running backs and were all catching the ball out of the backfield and rarely ran for 1,000 yards. It's because that's not what he likes to do. He likes to have his quarterback drop back, make decisions, check to a run if they want to. It's a quarterback. It's Pat Mahomes. It's McNabb. They're not checking to a fucking run. They're going to throw the ball. So you got people 6 for 57, 3 for 54, 5 for 44, 3 for 42, 4 for 38, 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 2, 4 for 0. That's him just dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. And he likes to do it with whoever the fuck wants to play running back, whether it be Edwards-Helaire, whether it be Pacheco. He always is looking for somebody that's not going to be the best, but he thinks he can get it done with less at receiver and at running back. He's always been this way, and that's what we're seeing from Kansas City right now. You take Eric Bieniemy out of that equation in the play calling, and you let Andy Reid have more influence in the play calls. This is what you fucking get. Bad clock management, bad decisions, putting the ball way too much in his hands. To put up 14 points and your quarterback threw the ball 44 times, 27 of 44 for 235, and Mahomes is why they lost the game. You can't say that they were in the game almost because of him. They were in a bad spot because of him in the first place, right? So you're seeing the regression of Kansas City is exactly what Andy Reid did the entire time. That's why he never won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, is bad clock management and not being able to run the ball. He had one good receiver one time, and they made it to the fucking Super Bowl. Other than that, it was all scrubs and fucking randos. James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, Freddie Mitchell, all these random Kevin Curtis, like all these random fuckers playing receiver because he thinks that he's smart enough to get it done without them, without Tyreek Hill. He thinks he can do it without that guy. He thinks he can do it without. I mean, even last year they had more proven people at receiver, and that's why they made those catches. I'm not a Juju Smith-Schuster fan or by any stretch of the means, but you want to overpay Scantling and put him out there, captain drop a ball? That's your top wide receiver? And then a bunch of random fucking rookies? They're not making the Super Bowl. They're not repeating. This Kansas City team is not doing it. And what's sad is this is the best defense that they've had. The best defense that they've had the entire time Mahomes has been there. Best defense. Best defense they've ever had. Karlaftis, they got themselves a rookie out there just running people fucking over. You got Chris Jones out there. They got good safety play. They have Snead, arguably one of the best corners in the league, locking people the fuck down, and you still gave up 20 points because your offense is trash and the decision making is not there. It's not. Mahomes is having to make the decision. It's not predetermined like you saw with Sam Howell, or especially early in the year before they got banged up and people were figuring out what Bieniemy was doing, and it's like they're not working with a lot there. But he led the league in passing for like 10 11 weeks till they played. When they played the Cowboys the first time, he was the leading passer in the league yards-wise. And completions was Sam Howell, because that's totally Bieniemy. Hey, if you're not there, you go here. If it's not there, there. You got 5 outs. Pick one. But they're all going to be fucking open because I know what I'm doing. And you take that out, and Mahomes is... I can't stand that little finger twitch thing when he's making bad plays, and he's standing there when he's waiting for the call. He just taps his fingers. It's like, it drives me fucking nuts, dude. Chiefs are getting what they deserve in spades. And all the whining and the bitching and complaining and the... we're hot shit, fuck y'all, it's blowing up in their face, and it's very fantastic to see, honestly. I love Andy Reid. I think Mahomes is great. I think he's become a whiny little bitch, but man, It is so good to see because I've been telling people this for a long time. Man, when Andy Reid is making all the decisions, careful, because you're not going to run the ball and you're never going to draft running backs. You're not going. These are things that you're not going to do. You're not going to invest where you need to invest. He's going to cut corners. And
Well, I
like,
guess
he
the real
is.
reason for all this is the old Swift.
I mean, maybe, but then you see you got an aging tight end who's obviously regressed in his athletic ability, and he's still one of the better tight ends in the league. But you can't say Kelsey is the same as the Kelsey that won the Super Bowl last year. He's just not. It's not the same. It's not the same. That it fucking happens, man. And you can
He's
just
no Gronk.
But even Gronk regressed. You could see that Gronk had regressed when he won the last Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. People are like, we got Gronk now. I'm like, yeah, he's good for like maybe 6 touchdowns this year. And they'll be good. They'll be impactful, but like Gronk is not what Gronk was before. Because before you could throw him a little out route and he would run everybody over and go 90 yards. And we watched him do that so much that he beat up his fucking body. Like, I mean, he was a robot. He was crazy when he broke his forearm in the season and then played in the Super Bowl with a robot arm. Like, but that's why he quit, because he's like, man, I could still play, but it's just like my body's beat the fuck up. I mean, you know, he put himself through hell, and Kelsey's done the same. Lots of hits, lots of miles, lots of catches, lots of yards. He works the middle of the field a lot at that size. I mean, and people are coming to take your head off, and now you're a fucking Swiftie. So it's like no one's showing you zero sympathy, bro. They got bad blood, dude. And this is a love story we're writing over here, and you're going down. And you're seeing the effects of that. This next draft that they have and the moves they make in the offseason will determine the next 4 or 5 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. If they don't reinvest and get people around them, and that might sound hyperbolic, but the way they're going, I mean, at this rate, the same team comes back next year, everybody else around them is going to get better. And they're all gearing up to beat them. And they're fucking doing it. Raiders, 7-8, feel good story. I think everybody loves the Raiders right now. Everybody loves Max Crosby. Well, you don't, but that's fine. But you know what? Max Crosby is the man, and this team is awesome. And the attitude about it, I feel like they finally are shaking off all of the extra bullshit that they've had go on, from, you know, John Gruden being racist to, you know, them losing their last 5 first-round picks are not, or what they showed, it was like 6 of their last 2 are still on the team. 3 of them are no longer in the NFL, and one of them's in prison. So the fact that they're able to overcome that, and you see just what they're doing, it's a bunch of guys out there having fun, playing for themselves. Antonio Pierce, I fucking hate Antonio Pierce because he was a giant for forever. Go Birds. But he looks like a really good coach, and they, you know, he should be the head coach next year. I think that's no doubt about it. The way they're running around, I loved the pettiness, the pick 6, barking at. I love seeing Jones. Somebody in that corner, number 18, played for Antonio Pierce in high school as his high school coach. That's how long he's been coaching that guy at corner. Gets that pick 6, is running his mouth at Mahomes, grinching, acting like he's going to give that Kansas City kid the football and snatching that shit back. Fantastic. I love seeing that. And I know people like, that's terrible. That's what this shit's about. That's what it's about. Like me talking so much shit to Braden, one of my little god babies, one of my best friend's kids. He's a huge Mahomes fan. Talking shit. And then we lose the Super Bowl. What does he do? He calls me. He leaves a voicemail talking shit. He sends me a video talking shit. And I'm like, that's what this is about. Like, you need to hate the Eagles, and I'm going to be the reason you hate us. I just, like, for you bump into some little 8-year-old kid that's an Eagles fan. It's like, Eagles suck. Screw the Eagles. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. People talking to me like that's why I'm an Eagles fan. That's why you hate the Eagles, because Eagles fans have talked to you like that. So in that moment, that kid just tripled down on being a Chiefs fan. All because of that. He's going to watch that video for the rest of his life and be like, that was fucking me. I fucking hate the Raiders. And that's like, like I love that. And I love to see this Raiders team dish that shit out. You have to actively look for it and dish that shit out, or stand on business whenever it's Metcalf scoring that touchdown, talking shit to people in sign language. So kids are looking it up like, what did he say about our corner? Fuck, Bland's better. Fuck that guy. Like that it keeps it rolling. That's where it's like, the NFL's a Leviathan, especially that game. Ooh, I watched it. That game was so much fun to watch. Ugly as fuck. So much game to watch. So much fun to watch. Sorry, I went on a rant there, but like, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about or you can see what I'm saying, but man, this is what the Eagles did. This is exactly what the Eagles were doing, and it was like the wheels started to fall off, and it was bad play calling, bad decision making, allowing your quarterback to make all the decisions. Mahomes is not Peyton Manning. Mahomes is not Tom Brady when it comes to being in the league that long, or Drew Brees, where it's like, yeah, man, you could kind of make your own decisions, because he's wild as fuck. He's wild as fuck with the shit he's gonna do, and you see that. Like, if he doesn't play within himself, he's gonna. That's why he went to Tech and not Texas. I mean, guns up, whatever. But that's why he went to Tech and not Texas. Is because you're chucking the fucking ball around like a lunatic, like every other Texas Tech quarterback. You just
like Uncle Rico.
You just happen to be the good one. You just happen to be the good Texas Tech quarterback that chucked the ball around like a fucking moron. Giants, Eagles. Eagles win. Close game. They pulled DeVito. DeVito was looking like shit. Tyrod Taylor, 7 for 16, a touchdown, a pick, 133. Had a long bomb to Slayton. Saquon, 23 for 80 with a touchdown. Honestly, the Eagles' run defense played pretty well against them. Slayton had that 160 or 70-yard catch, so he had 3 for 90 and a touchdown. Eagles play calling. I mean, DeAndre Swift looked good. Gainwell looked good. They ran the ball well. That interception was a pass to Goddard where he fell down. Probably would have been a catch. That was a pretty good ball right to the corner's hands because you fall out of your breaks. But, I mean, even in that game, it was 6 for Brown, 4 for Devontae, 7 for Dallas, 3 for Gainwell. Calcaterra had 2, and then 1 for Julio and 1 for Covey. Shaq Leonard sighting in this game, dude. Shaq Leonard looked pretty fucking good playing against the run. Their linebacker, 5 tackles, 2 assists, and a sack. Ringo, the rookie, got his first pick. That's what I'm saying. The Eagles are tired, and that's where I'm just like, man, if they win this game, if you guys for some reason lose to the Lions and the Eagles win this week, they are sitting everybody. They are not playing a single fucking soul, anybody who's worth anything against the Giants in the last week. They're sitting Jalen. They're throwing Mariota out there. They're going to let Rashawn Penny go play. Why he's on our team, no fucking idea. He's a monster. Never plays. You're going to see all these randos come out of the woodwork, and they're just going to rest some of these guys. I do think our D-line's a little tired. I think our O-line's a little tired and getting sloppy. And, they're getting healthier, but, I mean, we'll see. They're tired. I think the Cowboys are going to be tired when they go into the last game of the year. It's just like, so let's say we lose and y'all win and y'all can win the division, and it doesn't matter if y'all beat the Commanders or not, y'all are resting everybody. And Tyron Smith, probably not playing the rest of the year for y'all. He's probably going to come back in the playoffs. Give him 3 weeks off, and just because you're already in the playoffs, and because you need him 100%, because your O-line's not the same without him on there. Tyler Smith is a better guard than he is a tackle at this point. I think that's proof in the pudding, and it's straight tapioca is what that guy's handing out. Like, it's apparent he is way better and way more dominant as an interior lineman. Or he's even an overly athletic right tackle in the ilk of a Lane Johnson than playing left, because that's holds stupid shit. You can just see it. But the Eagles win first place, and then last game we already kind of touched on it. Ravens beat the shit out of the Niners. Purdy threw 4 picks. They had 5 picks all day. Christian McCaffrey 14 for 103 and a touchdown. But when you're throwing picks, it doesn't matter how good your running back is. Lamar Jackson played well. I mean, I've been impressed with Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is crazy good. But they were just all over him. Their defense was dominant. yeah, like you said, hopefully they put out. And what's wild is they got the shit kicked out of them. Total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, yards per play, all won by the Niners. Pretty interesting to win every single offensive statistical category and to lose and be down in time of possession. That just reeks of garbage time, like junk time yards. And they had more plays, gave up more sacks. They only punted twice. They had 10 penalties for 102. They were 6 of 14, so they were better on third down than the Ravens were, who were only 4 of 11. San Francisco can be beat. But that's our wrap up of the games. That was long, but that was good. And you're not working, so I know you're not working, and you might be, but whatever.
What are you talking about? I'm working tomorrow.
It's bets time. It's bets with 2.0. We're gonna wrap this bad boy up.
All right, so as mentioned earlier, I was on the road all day, so only got 2 bets here. First off, the little Thursday night action, we got the Browns -7 against the Jets. The way the Browns have been playing and with Joe Flacco, they've been absolutely on fire. Jets have not been playing very well. Their defense, hang on, let me pull up the stats. Their defense has been horrible. Their offense, hasn't been able to generate a lot. They did score 30 points last week against the Commanders, but the Browns have a much better defense than the Commanders, so I think they'll be able to hold the Jets offense to not a lot of points, and I think the success that they've had on offense will keep rolling. So I like the Browns -7.
Mm-hmm.
And then second play, we got the Giants. Not Giants. Jeez, the Rams -5.5 against the Giants. So Giants' run defense is horrible. They're ranked 31st in the league. So I think Kyron Williams is going to have a lot of success. The Rams are going to be able to establish that run game early and often, and that's going to allow Matt Stafford to go off, use Puka and Cooper Kupp, and have a good big game through the air. The Giants aren't really playing for anything at this point. If they are playing for anything, they're playing to be spoilers for the Eagles next week. I think this game is just kind of a wash, so I don't expect them to be overly invested in this. And with the Rams being red hot and looking to carry that momentum into the playoffs, I like them to cover the -5.5.
Okay. Yeah, they're in an interesting position where they can be playoff spoilers in this game. If they beat the Rams in this game, Rams might be knocked out of playoff contention. They'd fall to 8-8. They'd fall down to 8-8, and somebody else, one of these other teams, I have them pulled up. Like there's a couple teams that could in the hunt. Packers are Vikings 7-8, 7-8, 7-8, 7-8. There's a lot of teams that are right in that range where they just got a 1-game lead on them, and if they lose and they win one of their games, it's possible. I mean, Packers and Vikings play each other, so somebody's going to come out of that game 8-8. Somebody. And then the Saints play Tampa Bay. So I mean, Tampa Bay could fall to 8-8 and fall out of the division, and they'd still potentially be a playoff team. So it's gonna be super interesting. But yeah, no, that's a good play. What's your other one?
It was the Browns -7.
Oh, you only had 2? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was on the road all day. Didn't have time to cook up.
On the road. He's a vagabond. Well, you got anything else, you guys? Anything else today? Because that's bets. So bets are in. 2.0's bets from the road. Antiques Road Joe. Ooh, that's tight. And you got anything for us, Elwood? Anything deep before we wrap this up? What's the score on y'all's game this week?
What game? Oh, Cowboys?
Yeah, duh.
35-14.
Okay. I'm saying Eagles Cardinals is gonna be 28-17 Eagles. It's gonna be in Philly. It's gonna be gross outdoors. So that'll be gross. You'll be playing a dome team and a dome team. So that's what I'm saying. It's like for y'all, the Lions playing outdoors somewhere shitty. The Cowboys playing outdoors somewhere shitty. Y'all both got something to play for in this game. It's potentially a home playoff game.
When I said 35-14 in the sense of if we win, our defense is going to have to step it up. Maybe get a turnover in a big situation. Yeah.
Well,
My eyes are on the defense.
Goff definitely leaves him out there. What about you 2.0? How are you feeling? You got Stidham out there this week? Or you just
I mean, fuck it. Let's see what the guy can do. He's had some success in the past, so
it's an Eagles product.
I don't know. I mean, Bailey Zappi lit up our secondary, so let's hope Easton Stick doesn't have too much success.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here as always. It is fun. Y'all are the boys. No, go to y'all go to fucking sleep. Appreciate y'all being here. Later, y'all.
See ya.
Later. All right. Well, that's it. 39. Sorry for the delay, but we're back. We'll be back next Wednesday with another one to recap the week. Thank you for coming by, checking out the show. Be good, be safe. I'll see you next year, bitches. Y'all stay safe. Peace.